So hi everybody, welcome to this Quick Start Basics. Okay, hi everyone, welcome to this Quick Start Basics class. This is Father's Day, and I would like to say Happy Father's Day to the fathers who are here, and to people who have fathers and are celebrating, and to the people who are hearing the replay, because a number of people have said, oh, I'm going to be hearing the replay tonight. So we're glad for you to be with your family. That's the number one. And we're also glad to provide this material for the people who are able to attend, because we know that a huge why is our family. So we provide the way to do that, make a better life for yourself, your family, and then eventually for whoever else in the world that you want to bless with your business and your success. So we present the 10 core commitments. This is a foundation for all of network marketing, proven for decades. If you wonder where you can get all of the information in one place and be sure that you know what you have for success, this is it. You're in the right place. And so every week we cover one of the 10 core, and tonight is the number 4 of that, and that is to market daily, which includes our famous invite script, the favor script that Jeff evolved and brought over from his real estate career into here. And I'll just introduce this real quick for the new people. And by the way, just want to welcome the new people who are on the call. Erica Tobias, who has come from Dr. Chris Inamoto's team, and Ann Zaccardi, who actually joined a couple weeks ago, but I believe tonight is their first night actually on a call. So welcome, you everybody. And Candy Clayton, who is probably be listening to the replay. We're thinking of you, welcome you. It's a great group you've joined. You're in the right place for moving fast, getting the tools and skills that you need to move fast, and the mindset too. So we're real proud to bring this to you. We are Bess McCarty, Coach for Network Marketers and the Shrink of MLM, and Jeffrey David Gamble of My Leadership Network. And we partnered to bring you this generic training, the Quick Start Basics for Network Marketers, every Sunday here at 9 p.m. This is part of our generic school, the MLM Millionaire Club School for Network Marketers. Our purpose is to help people grow, to educate, equip, and empower entrepreneurs and create independent servant leaders. It's our way of raising the bar in this profession and giving back to the profession too. So we are super excited. Our goal is to equip and empower you and entertain you and educate you on the basics of network marketing, so you can build a strong and profitable business. Before we get started, you might want to grab a pen and paper, because I would like to let you know what's coming up. Monday through Friday, Jeff and I teach a class. We've been doing it for a year now on Facebook Live, noon Eastern Time. It's called the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. This is free and open to everybody, open to the public. People are inviting their friends, inviting their teams, even people not in network marketing are coming on. It's become a popular show. And people say, wow, you know, I wasn't feeling so great or focused, but I get on the show and I feel great, and I get things to improve my business and my life every day. They get a takeaway. So let's see, coming up tomorrow is actually for our anniversary month of June of doing this for a year. We are covering the book Think and Grow Rich as a special. Usually we cover John Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, but for June we're covering Think and Grow Rich, a real special classic. And coming up on Monday is, let's see, not Mastermind. I'll have to remember the topic for coming up Monday, but it's a chapter after Mastermind, and we welcome you to that. And on Wednesday night, here within the school, we actually have another class. That's a deep dive into the leadership training. And so there's a special inner circle, a handful of students in the school who are in that class. It's open to everybody. It's called MLM Leadership University. There is a tuition for the class, but there's a discount if you're in this class. If you're in this Sunday night class right now, the Quick Start Basics, 10 Core Commitments, and you are, if you're hearing this, because you're in it, you get a discount toward the MLM Leadership University Wednesday night class. It is a deep dive into John Maxwell and the books, and we take one book a month of his, and we give different aspects, angles, stories, and dive deep into the book. So right now we're on the Complete 101 collection, and we are covering leadership right now. So you're welcome to message me if you'd like more information about that, or just find it within the Facebook group or the emails. They'll have information and links about that class. On Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time every week, we've been doing also for a year, Jeff and I teach a class which is an aspect of, it's a sample of this class for the public to get and some information and to learn more about the class and join us too. So that's every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. A lot of you all pop on both of these, all these shows. And we have a special open house coming up on Sunday, July 7th. That's Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We are going to teach everyone. It's open to the public, open to your friends, to your team, everyone. We're going to teach how to always get a yes when prospecting. We're going to go into that some tonight too. That class, though, that would be a good one to invite if your team has been looking at the school or thinking about it, or you'd like to let your team know about the school. That would be a good one. And we're going to have a free book giveaway that night too. So we put the link to register for that in the MLM Millionaire Club School group. You can share that link with anybody, with your team, with everybody. And when they get their ticket for it, they can get a free ticket for that event. And when they do, it registers them to win one of the many personal growth books that we're going to be giving away at that event. They have to be there to win, present to win. It's going to be John Maxwell books and other personal growth books. So that will be fun. Now, for the new people, I just want to let you know a little bit about us. Jeff Gamble has 24 years in network marketing and direct sales. He's personally recruited over 500 people frontline. He has done 10,000 presentations, built teams to 11,000 in 7 countries in 3 years. His teams have produced over 10 million sales in 3 years. He has other businesses too. He and his fiancee Brandy also run a holistic business. They are naturopathic doctors. He has also a real estate business and a lot of other skills. Some of them that we have in common, like martial arts, and have both been real estate investors. And a little bit about my background. Bess McCarty, I'm a body-mind therapist and a holistic health practitioner for 35 years. Also full-time network marketing for years. Helped me raise my son as a single mom. I won a trip to the Bahamas and spoke a lot, a trainer, taught my team up and down the coast of California for years. When my company went out of business, I went into personal growth for my own growth and became a holistic health practitioner, body-mind therapist, and I brought that back to network marketers. Now they call me the shrink of MLM because the personal growth is my specialty. I've personally helped hundreds of network marketers break through blocks, negative beliefs and fears to their success. So I'm a totally dedicated generic coach at this point, and for good, and also, gosh, minister, healer, teacher, all that. So we love to partner to bring you. We met 6 years ago on Eric Worre's page, stayed in touch. I just learned a year ago about a method that Jeff was using, which we're going to teach tonight and at that open house. But that was the beginning of me recognizing that he has very special gifts and knowledge that I wanted to bring to the school. So he came into the school to help teach, and now we have the school together for the 3 of us, Brandy, Jeff, and I. So I'm very glad to bring you the best that I've ever seen in network marketing. The 10 core commitments. You're in this class. We cover 1 a week. We're on number 4, but here's all 10 of them. 1 is getting started right. 2, be here a year from now. 3, personal development. 4, market daily. That's tonight. 5, present daily. 6, attend a weekly presentation. 7, attend a weekly core training. That's what you're on right now. You're on a weekly core training. So you're doing number 7 of the 10 core commitments. Every time you get on, I hear a replay. Number 8, attend a monthly regional. Number 9, attend all company conventions. And number 10, have a monthly massive action plan. So these have been proven for decades to be what the top earners in network marketing are using. This is kind of, it's old school. It's repetition of the basics and the fundamentals and the foundations. We do it from a different angle each week. We encourage you to stay in this class until you learn enough that you could teach it to your team. And we have 10 levels of certification for this class. So every time that you attend one of these classes or hear the replay, make a note of that, because when you've completed all 10, we have a certificate for you. And so that would be certificate level 1. We have 10 levels in all. So that is our organization of this. Everything, yeah, the repetition is the mother of success, as Tony Robbins says. That's why we encourage you to, take your time learning the basics and go deep with them. And just simply hop on these calls. Some people are busy, they'll listen to the replays, again, to get more, or while they're driving, or I do it while exercising and things, I listen to things. So this is a generic training, of course, for you, your team members, for all levels, whether you've been in network marketing a long time or a short time, whether you're moving, whether you're stuck, whether your focus is on customers, recruits, or leadership. This helps you to build a team and lay a good foundation. And it gives you all the important stuff you need to know. How to connect with people, interact, have fun along the way, stay on track. That's what we do in the class. But yeah, it is 7 skills: how to find people, invite, present, follow up, sign up, get them started right, and then get them to events. So you've got it all here. We have people in here that love to tell us when they jump ranks. A number of you are on the call right now. Sometimes you're surprised and say, well, just jump another rank, or jump another 3 ranks, forgot to tell you, using these methods. So we're very love to celebrate with you. Please let us know when you do have a success so we can celebrate with you. So as I mentioned before, we're going to go 90 minutes, so we're going to turn off the recording and hear what your takeaways are, plus any questions or tips or insights that you want to share. And I also do love to hear successes since we've last met, successes large or small, so we can celebrate with you. Okay, and now I'll turn it over to Jeff, and we will dive into Market Daily.
Okay, can you hear me? All right, well, it is 9:21, so we're going to move fast because we burned up a bunch of time. I was having problems getting on, actually, which was part of my issue. So I apologize for that. But today is about Market Daily. To go into this really quickly and just cover, those 10 core, the first one being getting started right. Everybody is in a different company here. Most of us are in a different company. Getting started right is different for every single person. The old classic way of getting people started was to sit down and spend over an hour trying to teach them a bunch of stuff and get them to write a gigantic list and tell them that all their success is basically going to be in getting a bunch of people together over at their house and doing a home meeting or a home party. And we've seen the industry as a whole get away from that. I'll be real honest, my success has never come from that in any company I've ever been in. My success is basically, brought down by the statistics of the industry. The Direct Sales Association says that 3 out of every 10 people who join as a rep join on a one-on-one in the United States, and the 8 out of 10 join one-on-one around the world. So when I learned that, I had always had my focus on meeting more people one-on-one, but when I heard those statistics, I absolutely geared my entire business towards the things that work and towards the things that duplicate. So when I was getting people started, when I said, hey, the real work here is us going out and showing this to your top 10, and then the next 10 and the next 10, and I found if I could get them to show 30 people, I could get them to show 60, I could get them to show 90. And the business never ends. I mean, when it really boils down to it, when you really look at network marketing and quote-unquote what your job is or what your objective is, I mean, let's face it, your job and your objective is to become a recruiter. We sell products. That's one of the things we do. But I will ask you, is there anybody in your company that makes 6 figures, that makes $500,000, that makes $1 million, that makes $2 million, $5 million, $10 million a year just selling products? They have no team. And if you look across the companies as a whole, you know, all companies, because I study the industry, there's really just a handful. I mean, out of 5,000 companies, I'm talking about a handful of companies that you can even get to 6 figures just selling the product. So what that tells me is that is the exception, not the rule. So the big rule of thumb is, and this is one of the first questions I always ask people when they do get started, I said, what do you plan on doing here? Do you plan on selling? You know, when people come to me even and they're struggling in the business, I said, well, what is your objective here? Are you trying to gather customers, or are you trying to recruit? And most people give the same BS answer that we all give when we don't know. We're like, well, we're kind of trying to do both. I'm trying to sell a couple products. And I was like, well, obviously you don't understand the game. And I hate to be that forthright with people, but I mean, I studied the industry and I basically started adding up a list on the left of, you know, left side of the page of all the people who were succeeding what they were doing, and I added up all the people on the right side who were doing something different, and I found that 99.9% of people were recruiting and team building. And there's a couple different ways you can be really good at that. Number one, you can be very, 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 very influential. And if you recruit a couple people who are also influential, you can build depth through your team by basically doing bigger meetings, Zooms, and big events. That is the exception, not the rule, if you're super influential. I've found other people who are not so influential, who are just hard workers, and they just recruit person after person after person after person, and their business ends up moving away from them just simply because they have so many people. And that's more of the rule than the exception. That's normally what happens. And then there's everybody else trying to both sell product and recruit, and they don't really have a straight objective. They're just in to do something. And that's, you know, usually the point at where I meet most people. And most people that I've got on the right track, I just have them look at the numbers. I said, look at your company as a whole and write down every single person in your company that's succeeding. I mean, at a high level, the level you want to succeed at. Not everybody wants to succeed at a high level, I get that, but I'm talking to the people who want to make 6 figures or more. 6 figures as a minimum, more is more like where I'm trying to get to. 6 figures being the minimum. What did those people do to get where they're at? What was their 99.9% focus? And in almost every case that I've ever met, it was recruiting. So if you really boil it down to, you know what you are? You're a recruiter. That's what you came on board to do. That's what the company brought you on board to do, is to recruit and or market the products and services for your company. And it's really easy to figure out what you need to study when you identify who you are and what you're supposed to be doing. The reason why most people struggle so bad is they have no idea what they're doing, and they have no idea what the objective is. The objective is to move more volume. I don't care what company you're in, that's the objective, to move more volume. You can move more volume personally, or you can move more volume through a team. Obviously, the team will always be able to move more volume than you can personally. But if you get really, really good at this, you will be the catalyst that lights the fire that gets this done for everybody else. You have to set a great example. And that's kind of what the 10 core are, is what example should we set. So in getting started, letting people know who they are and what they should be doing greatly helps. So what we are as recruiters, what our objective is to market our goods and services. Market. Does it say sell? No, it says market. What does market mean? Market means bring something to the market. Make people aware of what you're doing. Making people aware of what you're doing. That's marketing. Consistently putting out the same message over and over and over again. Do you see McDonald's run 6 million different commercials? No. They run one commercial. They get it right, and they do it over and over and over again. Just like every brand always has, they find one ad and they market it over and over and over again. And most of those ads you would know by heart and could sing the song, and you don't even buy the product. Winston tastes good like a... Most of you know the ending to that if you remember TV over 30 years ago. The interesting thing is there hasn't been an ad like that on TV for over 35 years, and most of you still know the ending. scary. That's how good some marketing is. Some of you are violently against smoking, and you still know the ending and the company. And you can see the picture, and you remember the commercial. If you don't remember the words, you remember the commercial. You know, the Oscar Mayer commercial, you know, a lot of you can sing that. You know, and I can go on and on through commercials, because every once in a while, if you really want a really good idea of how this works, go back and watch top commercials of the 70s, top commercials of the 80s, top commercials of the 90s, and you'll sing along with them. You're like, oh, and it's this, watch this, it's this really cool feeling, because you'll remember certain people you were with during the time you watched that. It'll remind you of an era in your life. That's what marketing is. It's an emotional connection to a product or service. So that's marketing. Number 2 we talk about is be here a year from now. It only makes sense. And here's the real reason we talk about being here a year from now is you have to think everything you're doing, every time you go out and talk to somebody, you have to think this. Is what I'm doing showing people that I'm going to be here a year from now? Are the words I'm using showing that I'm going to be here a year from now? Are my activities showing I'm going to be here a year from now? Are my posts showing I'm going to be here a year from now? Why is that so important? It's so important because what you're trying to convey to everybody you're talking to is that you are a safe, secure foundation for what you're marketing. You're safe to sign up with. You're secure to sign up with. You're going to be here. But the person who starts out and says, man, I don't know about this. If this works, I'm out of here. If this works for me, I'm not staying. I'm out of here. I'm not going to hang out with all you people. I mean, you have to think about what you're conveying to people. Well, if this doesn't work, I'm planning on doing that. If that doesn't work, I'm planning. That's why it's so hard for some people to sign people up, is because you already have one foot out the door and you're literally telling people you're not committed. Oh, I'd love for you to sign up, but I doubt I'll be here, is what some of you are actually saying to people. I hope you get in now, because next month, if you don't get in, I don't even planning on being in this company or selling this product. I mean, I've literally watched people say that online, and they'll be like, get in with me. It's a good idea to join with me. I was like, no, it's not. It's scary to join with you. And think about that. If it's scary to join with you, why would anybody want to join? That's the second core commitment. The third is personal development. We actually say that, you know, personal development is really the heart of our business, and everything else wraps around it. And that leads to the fourth core, which is market daily. And you want to be marketing daily. Now, there's direct marketing and indirect marketing. Direct marketing is hey, this is this product, and here's everything about it. That's direct marketing. But if you're a recruiter, you have to think about this. If you're a recruiter, you're in the business of attraction. That's what you're in the business of. You're in the business of attraction. And what you want to do is you want to be able to put a message out there consistently to attract people. And you have to think about this, which most people don't think at all. But you have to think about this and think deep. What are people attracted to? Here's what I had to realize is what I was attracted to was not what most people were attracted to. And I would say the exact same for most of you on this line, is you have to stop thinking me and start thinking everyone else. You have to look at this from the eyes of the general population. There's a old saying that says, you know, serve the masses and live with the classes. If you don't know what that means, it means basically you're going to bring a product to market that the masses would want. And if you're able to bring that product to the masses, you get to live with the elite because you're making enough money from what you're marketing. But most of you, and I say most of us because I was included in this group, I was only putting out a message that was attracted to me, not everybody else. So I constantly look at statistics and things. And I'm going to give you some stuff right now about social media. Because social media right now is the most powerful way to reach people, and most of us are screwing it up. And what I mean by screwing it up is most of us are robotically sharing garbage and not attracting people to us. Most of us are not, we don't have a clear message we're sending. We're just sending garbage out. So I'm going to give you some stuff that I've learned. And some of this is easy stuff to find out. It's online. For instance, there's about 7.5 billion people in the world right now, and 4 billion of them are online. So if you're in a worldwide business, that means that's a 53% market penetration currently. 50% of the world is connected. Active social media users worldwide, 3.1 billion. That's 42% of the population of the planet. Just to let you guys know, there are more people who have internet than have indoor plumbing. That puts things in perspective, right? Hopefully. Unique mobile users, there's 5 billion mobile users. 5 billion. Active mobile social users, almost 3 billion. So if you think about that, that's just a little over a third of the population of the world is using social media in some way. So that should give you a very specific target. Now here's what's interesting. Social media users by generation. 90% of millennials are using social media. 90%. 77% of Generation X. Generation X basically is 30, I think it's 30 to like 64 right now is the Generation X that they're talking about. I could be off on that. I know somebody's going to send me a message. Well, actually, it's this between this. They only have 3 of them up here, so I'm guessing, you know, when they talk about the baby boomer generation, which is next, they said it's 48% of them are using social media, so about 50%. But they're also the fastest growing part of social media. Is 65 and above. Customers' reaction to irritating marketing and branding. Irritating. Too long, too in your face, isn't relevant. 51% immediately unfollow you. Immediately unfollow you. 27% mark content as spam or try to block you. This is how you basically get your account deleted. If you're putting out bad messages, bad marketing. We're going to talk about what to do and what not to do here in a second. 25% ignore it. 23% basically go on and boycott, which kind of is more than just unfollow. They're going to go out and tell everybody else not to look at you, follow you, or connect with you either. 22% are going to reply negative in their post to be like, quit sending me this garbage. 21% share, about 20% share reactions. So out of 100 people you send a bad message to, 20% are actually going to go out and tell somebody else this is garbage. And about another 20% are going to share it online and say this was garbage. So generational marketing stats. It says there's 3 billion people, active users, using worldwide. Total number of active mobile devices using that is about 3 billion. So you got 3 billion online, 3 billion actively doing social media. 90% of social media users try to reach out to brands or retailers, so we're trying to reach people. In the United States, 77% of people own at least one social media profile. Now, if you guys haven't figured this out, what's probably the most likely social media profile that most people have? It's Facebook. The average person spends 135 minutes on social media every single day. What is 135 minutes divided by 60 minutes? So that's a little over 3 hours a day, right? 60. Well, about 2. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 2. YouTube, Instagram, and Snapchat are the most popular social media among teens. So if you're trying to reach that beginning generation that's coming into market, 18, 19, that's where they're at. YouTube, Instagram, and Snapchat. So if you want to know, it says this is U.S. social media reach by By platform, 13 and up, 90%. If you want to reach 90% of the population, Facebook. If you want to reach 60% of the population, Twitter. If you want to reach 50% of the population, Instagram. If you want to reach 50% of the population, Snapchat. The power of social media marketing. 73% of marketers believe that social media has been somewhat effective in getting in front of people. Obviously. So here's the numbers. This is based on, just give me a year. Social media trends, 2019. Facebook, 2.1 billion. So a little over 2 billion people on Facebook. 1.9 billion. Most popular social media networks. WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, WeChat. So Facebook and YouTube are the two most popular. So if you're wondering where to focus the majority of your energy and time, those would be good ones, unless you're trying to target a very specific market group of people, blah, 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 blah. It says 7 out of 10 Americans, 69% of the population, be exact, are on social media and trying to connect with one another. So what does this tell you? Gender-wise, 75% of men, 83% women. This is people aged 18 to 29 are the most prevalent Facebook users. So 18 to 29, 88%. 30 to 49, 84%. 50 to 64, 72%. 65 and up, 62%. That gives you kind of a good idea of where you should be marketing. The question is, and I hope this kind of just breaks stuff down, where you should be marketing. There's a bunch of other ones here. This one's really good. Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, WeChat, Instagram. Here's the biggest thing. Here's what I've learned from Gary Vaynerchuk. And by the way, if you don't know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, he's probably one of the #1 social media teachers in the world right now. He has a company with, I don't even know how many people. I'm guessing it's approaching 2,000 employees in multiple countries. Social media marketing company. I know originally he was going after the Fortune 500 companies of the United States and had a majority of them as clients. Now he has kind of everybody globally because of what he knows how to do. I can go on and give you a bunch of other statistics, but I think you guys get the point. This is probably the #1 place. The problem is that most of us are putting out stuff on our Facebook pages that's garbage. And what I mean by garbage is it may be funny, it may be entertaining, but it has absolutely not a freaking thing to do with you making money or building your business. And if I went back and I looked at your social media pages, meaning whatever pages you're using, if I looked at most of the stuff, most of the content you're pushing out, and what you're trying to do to attract people, you're not doing what you need to do if your plan is to bring people into your business. So I'm going to give you some stuff that has helped me, and here's where I got that stuff. I got that stuff from a guy named Tai Lopez. I got this stuff a little bit from Gary Vaynerchuk. I have this stuff from Grant Cardone. Now, Tai Lopez is a multi-millionaire. Gary Vaynerchuk is a multi-millionaire. His company does hundreds of millions of dollars. Grant Cardone is now over $1 billion in assets. So these are not three people that are guessing at what to do. I know Tai Lopez by himself, him and his company, have invested over $500 million in Facebook ads alone. $500 million. So he runs a company that does this for other people. So these guys are not guessing when they shared this stuff. And this is just kind of a collection of stuff. So if you want to put out a message to everyone, what message do you put out? Well, the first thing is, and I learned this a long time ago, if you want to attract the most people to you to be able to talk to, you're not going to push out anything about your company. Sorry. You're not talking about your product. You're not talking about your comp plan. You're not talking about how amazing XYZ, is. That's not what you're doing. And the most successful people online are not. That's not what they're doing. Here's what they are doing. Number one, they are putting out inspirational quotes and pictures. Helpful, useful, intuitive quotes, motivational, inspirational, thankful, helpful, positive messages. How easy is it to read something out of personal development and go, wow, that's a really good quote. I should share this. Now, what's interesting is tag 3 people in it, get their permission first, but tag 3 people in it who would also like that quote. Ideally, 3 people in your company or in your network. Your network would be better than your company. These people have nothing to do with your business, but like the inspirational, positive quotes. If you don't have any friends that you can do this with, tag 3 people in the school, because the more people who go on and like that post, the further out Facebook will push it to everybody else. Quotes. I have a friend in the business that what he does is every single time he meets somebody in the industry, whether they're $1 million earner or a no earner, he will take down their phone number and he sends out the quote of the day, and he's been doing it for 9 years. The quote of the day has been going out for 9 years to every single person that he's ever met in direct sales or network marketing. So there's 2 lessons there. First of all, he keeps a database of every single person he ever runs into, regardless if they're in his company or not. Because what he believes is one day the opportunity will open for them to work, for him to work with them. I mean, that's long-term thinking. That's not only long-term thinking, that's big thinking. At some point, we will be able to work together. Man, I'd love to keep in touch with you. Let me get your phone number. And he sends them the quote of the day from then on. He does not necessarily ask them for permission to send the quote of the day. He goes, every once in a while, I'll get somebody who's like, you keep sending me this crap. And he's like, that's not, he goes, just by their reaction to what they're doing, you understand why they're not succeeding, nor do I want to work with that person. Delete. Easy decision. You don't even have to talk to them, and you already know. I was like, man, that's an easy weeding system. 2, videos of inspiration. Let me give you a couple different kinds of videos of inspiration that I find that are very attractive to people, that people who have nothing to do with network marketing will consistently come on and connect with me. Military homecomings, I just put out one recently. I had more people comment on that and say thank you for sharing. It was of a lady who had just had her baby, and her husband had been away for 9 months and just showed up, surprised her. Like, it's hard to watch. Acts of giving. Very, very cool story. Just put up of this kid who had basically, I don't know, his dad had basically passed away. His mom didn't really have enough money, but the kid walked it was either 2 or 3 miles back and forth, and never missed a day, had perfect attendance to this job. And his coworkers found out that he had been walking. He got up at like 4 in the morning so that way he could walk the 2.5 miles. And we're talking all weather, rain, snow, shine, sun, whatever. And had been doing it for quite some time. I want to say it was over 18 months. And finally they found out that he had been walking to work every single day, and they basically band together and bought him a car. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's a really cool story. It's on my Facebook page. Next, acts of kindness. There's all kinds of these. I mean, I've got a couple of them of guys that basically were going around. Originally, it was in the United States, and they were going around to homeless people, and just like they had almost like a flip book chart, or not a flip book, but like a clipboard, and they were like, "Hey, man, is there anything on this list that you need?" And, you know, a couple of the homeless people were like, socks. I just need socks, you know, new socks. Some people said shoes, bags, different stuff. So these guys basically just went out with their own money and bought these, like, duffel bags and put, like, socks and batteries and, you know, chargers and different stuff in these bags, and then we're just handing them out and just giving them out. Again, it's kind of hard to watch in some parts, but amazing. Amazing humans. Anything crazy that people are able to do that's kind of just abnormal, that, again, is giving back in some way. If you ever watch the movie The Voice, if you ever watch America's Got Talent, if you ever watch Britain's Got Talent or American Idol, all of those, again, are positive. They talk about, you know, going out and living your dream and your passion, and it's very attractive to the outside. So, videos of inspiration. Number 3, amazing places, amazing people, amazing travel, amazing food. Anything that would be basically a picture. It could be a video. But travel destinations, just fun, cool things to see. Number 4. So this is basically just being attractive to the outside. Number 4 is comparisons. Comparisons are amazing. This is where you get massive interaction on your page. And you'll get people commenting that you didn't even know were friends on your page. And I'm going to give you just a couple. I mean, the basics are like Coke, Pepsi, Samsung or Apple, PC or Mac, BMW or Mercedes, Puma or Adidas. And here's the funny thing. Some of you are coming up with an idea right away. You're like, oh my God, that one's so much better than the other one. I would never own a PC after I've owned a Mac, or I'd never own a Mac after a PC. I don't like the functionality. And you have all this stuff to say. Here's the thing. By asking for others' opinions and getting their opinions, they feel like they're contributing, and then going back and thanking them for commenting. Some of you are like, what does any of this have to do with signing people up in my company? It has everything to do with signing people up in your company, because people do business with people they know, people they like, and people they trust. What you're doing by putting out quotes, what you're doing by putting out inspirational videos, what you're doing by putting out amazing things, what you're doing about comparison is people are getting to know you. The problem is people are getting to know you, and what they're knowing is not stuff that's attractive. Because I've looked at some of your pages. Some of your pages are really good, don't get me wrong. But sometimes, some of our pages are not good. Another thing we can do is go into Facebook groups and connect with people in travel groups, connect with people in vehicle groups, connect with people in boat groups, connect with people in airplane groups, connect with people in technology groups. Now, does it have to be just those groups? No, it can be anything, but here's the thing. If you love anime, and if you don't even know what that is, don't worry about it. But if you love anime and you connect with a bunch of people in anime, but you're in a company that's only located in the United States, and the average person in that group is 14, is that helping you build your business? The answer is no. Now, you might love anime, which is fine. That's fine. But that's not something that I'm going to post about on a regular basis. Personal development groups. You know, there's fans of Grant Cardone. There's fans of Tony Robbins. There's fans of Jim Rohn. There's fans of, I mean, there's thousands of people in the industry that are great personal development coaches, blah, 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 blah. There you go. You just open the door to millions and millions of people that you have the ability to have a conversation with. And people are like, I don't know where to find people. We just said there's 3 billion of them online. There's people out there. The problem is you don't know how to start the conversations with them. And the reason you don't know how to start the conversations with them is because you're not looking at it from the angle of become a friend first, become attractive first. Now, here's the thing. Could you ask somebody in Mississippi, could you just go into Mississippi and look up, you know, Mississippi the state, like the state parks, like you know, I mean, there's so many different things with different states. I'm going to use Texas instead because it's just off the top of my head. I know more about Texas. You know, like Dallas, like Austin, but I was picking Mississippi because it might be a random one. You know, like different things about it. I like the Dallas If you don't like the Dallas Cowboys, you know, put on there, I don't like the Dallas Cowboys, because then you'll have something in common with the people who live in Texas who don't like the Dallas Cowboys, because not everybody does. The Houston Oilers, you know, and so on and so forth. And you can go through, and there's sports teams to like and not like, you know, the Houston Rockets, so on and so forth. And you can go through and you can get likes and dislikes on all these different things inside of Texas. And then if you're trying to expand your business to Texas, every single day you could reach out to 2 people and say, hey, totally random, I see that you like Texas, like Dallas, like this, like this. All of a sudden you have 5 things that are in common. Hey, we like all the same stuff. Can you do me a huge favor? I'm trying to expand there. And I'd love to be able to get you some information on what we do to see if you knew of the right person to connect to, because I'm just reaching out to if you say I'm just reaching out to random people, you're just being completely honest with what's going on. There's no malice intent of, you know, liking everything on their page and coming up with a bunch of random crap conversation that really has nothing to do with it when you really just want to contact them. Be direct. Life is short. One of my mentors went online, and I say this with a level of caution because I know certain people are going to try this and get their head chewed out. He goes on, and you know how he constantly connects to people? This was the same guy that connects to people and sends out the quotes. He goes, I can sponsor 1 person a day. I was like, huh? He's like, yeah, I've always been able to sponsor 1 person a day. I'm like, I'm talking about like random people you don't know? He's like, yes. I was like, okay, I have my notebook out at this point. I'm like, how are you doing that? He goes, well, if you think about it, network marketers, some of them are in multiple companies. Some of them are always looking for something new. So what I do is I go into the groups of network marketers and I reach directly out to those people and say, hey, I see that you're in whatever state they're in, blah, 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 and I see that you're doing well in such and such company, but I have a question for you. I know of something that's about to blow up in your area. Would you be open to hearing about it? Not are you ready to join, not are you ready to buy, but are you open to hearing about it? So his philosophy is that if you're going to build anything, pitch the people who are already bought in. So he says, you know, if I'm going to build an army, look for soldiers, not civilians. That was the phrase he used, but you understand kind of his objective. If he's going to market something, he's going to market something. Now, some people see that as totally the wrong thing to do, and they see that as, you know, that's not, you know, ethical part of the business, blah, 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 blah. But I will ask you this, only because I know professional recruiters in the job world that work for Microsoft that specifically go look for people at Apple. Now, there's an ethical way to do it, and there's a non-ethical way to do it. He just asks if you're open. He does not badmouth, dogmouth, whatever, the company. I know there's certain people out there right now that are trying to connect to every single person in a specific company that just changed their comp plan. And if you're advertising directly to those people, that's really kind of a terrible method. You know, it's like, you know, you're trying to, you know, kind of fish at the lowest level, you know, with sticks of dynamite. It's just, it's not the right way to do it. So Ty Lopez specifically says comparisons are really good because you get a lot of interaction, and then from that interaction you can have other conversations. Gary Vaynerchuk says is you want to stick with a method, you want to stick with a platform, and you want to go 110% on that platform. What about all these other platforms? The reality is in direct sales and network marketing, you don't know that much about the other platforms. Don't worry about it, because your objective is to get in front of the most people as fast as possible. Don't spend your time learning 3 other platforms. What most of us do is because we're not having success on a platform, we trick ourselves into thinking that another platform is going to be the answer to our non-productiveness or non-responsiveness. And what I can tell you is all you're going to do is waste another 6 months to learn another place that whatever the hell you're doing won't work. Fix you, and the platform fixes itself. When I say fix you, Make sure the message you're putting out there is positive. Make sure the message you're putting out there is attractive. Make sure the message you're putting out there is wide enough that it attracts the masses, not a very, very specific person or a group of people. You know what I mean? I mean, you're going for the biggest group. Look for the people who are succeeding. And that's the key. Look for the people who are in and succeeding. And the problem is we always look at the exception and not the rule. Guys, there is always in network marketing the homeless, down and out, lost his car, lost his job, lost his wife, substance abuse problems, this problem, that problem, and they've made it to the top of the company. And I love those stories. I do. It shows me that anybody with any background can make it in the industry, and that's absolutely true. But they are the exception usually, not the majority. So don't leave anybody out, is what I'm saying. Don't leave anybody out. Show it to everybody. But also focus your energy where the net is the widest or where the funnel is the widest. Don't focus in. Now, what if up until now all you've done is post about your product? I guess my question is that working? Have you recruited a bunch of people doing that? Do you have a bunch of new customers from doing that? If you look at the other people in groups, in teams that are consistently posting about their product and the discount they're giving and or about their opportunity, are you gaining traction from that? Because if these people were, think about that. The majority of the time, what has to happen is the hard work. And the hard work is basically at some point picking up the phone and or meeting people in person and physically going over the 5 things that we do. Marketing has to do with getting people to know who you are and what you do. Most of these companies that we're involved in require a story along with it to get people to buy or join. And what I found is the people who have followed this method, and there's people in the school now who have done this, who followed this method, are the ones who are succeeding the fastest and succeeding the largest inside of what we're doing. It's you know, if it worked just for me, then that might be an issue. But if it worked just for me and just for the team I was around, then you might say, well, it might be just Jeff's influence and this, that, and the other thing. But now it's working for people who aren't on my team, who aren't in the company I'm in, who just have come on to the school, who have just listened and gone on it and launched. So now we know it's working. And that was one of the things Bess and I had a conversation with when we first started. As I said, you know, 90 days in, we're going to know when people start promoting. And people started promoting, and people started doing so well in their company, they're like, I got to go focus on my company right now, but I'll be back. And when they need to get to the next level, guess who they're going to come back to? They'll come back to us and ask us, okay, now I've gotten to this point, and now I'm stuck again. What do I do to get to the next level? You only learned the first layer of the 10 core, and the first layer of the 10 core is you succeeding. And that's the toughest part for most people, is just figuring out how to succeed yourself. The next problem will exist is I'm getting people in, and how do I get them to succeed? You know, that'll be a whole nother conversation and a whole nother level and layer on top of what you've already learned. So these are some tips about marketing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over to Bess now to get some of her tips on marketing, both internally and externally. So basically what I did today was just talk about the external marketing. The external marketing is basically attracting people to you. So that way you can have the conversation of the presentation. And here's the thing. You do not have to know people intimately for them to get on the phone and listen. Do you realize people pick up the phone every day and talk to people they don't know about all kinds of stuff that is irrelevant, that has nothing to do with business? Every day people have those conversations. Every day people watch a video. Every day people learn about other things that have no connection to them because somebody asked them, hey, go check this out, go take a look at it. I'm just talking about what I found has worked the best, that's put me in front of the best people. So with that, we'll turn this back over to Bess. And I don't know if you'll have to unmute yourself here. Or you able to? There we go.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff. I took a bunch of notes, too, and just want to add something in there about social media. Stay away from politics and religion. I have tiptoed into that and gotten chewed up, and people that even I thought were friends were like attacking me, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry I even brought that up. I'm not going to tiptoe into that anymore. So yeah, it's much safer. People will like blacklist you if they don't agree with the political view or something like that, or from
Actually, worse than that, I just met 2 people who were fired.
Yeah.
Not for fighting with somebody, just for the conversation itself.
Mm-hmm. For being in one or posting about politics or religion?
Well, they were online and posted on somebody else's, and it was just a comment, and that was it. They're fired.
Wow. So very dangerous waters to tread in there. So what I do like to do is find out what I have in common. Like today, someone sent me a friend request that saw us on the shows. Anyway, someone sent me a friend request, so I checked her out. I thought, oh yeah, I like what this is about. I always look at the about page, and I see where they're from. But I message her, hey, I see that we're both Scorpios, and that we both love holistic health and organic foods, and we're both into healing. So that was sort of the beginning of a conversation. I always like to start a bridge and see where what we have in common that I can play off of, or we both like dogs, or something like that. I can find something in common with just about anybody. That's what I mentioned first. Thank you for the friend request. I see we have this in common, and then we'll take it from there. I always look out for things that I can help people with. 2 other quick tips about social media is I've had a lot of success about doing birthday videos or audios. For 1 year, I went in, and I couldn't do that for every day for all of my friends, because I do have about 3,000 some friends, which I've chosen carefully. I've not deleted anybody. I've just chosen that carefully over time. But I do have them organized in different categories, like to me, the people who are VIPs or extra VIPs or close friends or something like that. So I can actually go into that list, open up, see who has a birthday today. And for a while, I was making about 10, 12 videos a day. Were just a few seconds long. And it's just like, hi, I see it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. I hope it's great. How's this or that going? And that just took about 10, 15 seconds to make a video. But so few people do that. And I got that idea from somebody who did that for me. And I thought, oh, that's really, really rare. So for a year, I did my best friends on there. And I guess 365 days a year times maybe 10 people, that's about 3,000 people that I was in touch with over a year. And it was a little time consuming, but, so I'm doing something different now. But when I ran through all those people, and I started seeing I already sent one from last year, then I started doing different things for them. But it was fun. Didn't take too much time. And guess what? When I went back to message them about something about business, I saw my happy birthday video above those texts. So it was like I wasn't just focusing on business, because the birthday video asks nothing. It just says, happy birthday, depending on how well you know them, you could mention something, or, how's this going, or how's your mom doing? So it doesn't ask anything, it just gives. And that was a good feeling, knowing that I hadn't neglected a friend to just give and say hello, how can I help you, can I do anything for you? Before I went and let them know something that we're promoting or something that we're doing. So birthday videos, some people don't like to get on video. They're not maybe that quite there yet. You can do an audio. And did you know on Facebook Messenger you could just push a button, I think, for messaging them, and then you can choose video or microphone. So some people, that's quicker or different than reading a happy birthday message. And some people, your birthday message on their personal page gets lost among them all. So on Facebook Messenger, it might stand out differently for that. So I've tried different things. I've gone on their wall too, or done that. You can change that up. My very, very highest post that I was shocked that people saw. Recently I put out that, hey, I'm a first-time grandma, and I put this little emoji of me floating, you know, a cartoon character of me floating. You know, this is my current mood. I'm just in heaven floating because I just found out I'm going to be a first-time grandma. And like 300 people responded. And I usually get like, you know, a handful or a couple dozen, or a really good discussion question. I'll get maybe 30, 40, 50 comments. This time it was like 300. I think 200 likes and 100 comments, or vice versa, something like that. And I thought, oh, people really do see the post, you know. You'd be shocked. But when you put out something personal like that touches your heart, something in your life that people could relate to, they just, oh, they love to congratulate you and join in your joy. When my dog passed away, too, I got so many people saying, oh, that happened to me. I know how that feels. You know, I'm feeling for you. So something that really touches people deeply, I mean, a birth and death, you know. But if you, the more that you can share, be transparent in your life. I don't do enough of that on Facebook. I'm a whole lot about giving tips and trying to help people. So when I occasionally do share that, I notice that was really my biggest biggest interactions. And getting into a Facebook group, what you do in there, you don't go in there and start talking about your product either. You go in there and just support people. You just get to know them. You see how you can bring value. Somebody says something, you go, hey, maybe you like this article, or I think you might like this because you mentioned this. So you just see how you can edify, support what somebody else has posted, or make sure that if you post something, it's going to be liked by the group, but it's not about you personally. Usually it won't contain links to your stuff. Sometimes there's, you know, read the group directions. I find that very few people read, when you get into a group, very few people read the about in the group. Maybe 5% read what it says, because it'll have rules in there. Some people say, yeah, post your links. Some people say, never post your links. Or, yeah, post your video, or the admins were the only ones who want to post. We want us to be the only ones who post videos in here. Don't you put your video on here, you know, or something about you. So everyone's day and night difference. You just got to read the policy, so that the first thing you do in a group is you see how you can get in step. You just see what that group's about and get to know the lay of the land. Just listen, read, comment, like, share before you try to post, before you get too strong in there. And never show up a person who posted. Don't say, I got one better than you, or how about this, or I oppose them or confront them. Never do that. Their post is like their home. You know, that's their land. So you go into that post, you edify, support it, but never try to tear it down, disagree, confront, argue, put down, show them up, any of that stuff. You're there to support. So hope that helps a little bit. I personally, when I market, I'm not in a network marketing company, dedicated generic coach, but I do market our school. I market what we're doing now. I believe in it, and I want to help network marketers. But when I think of going out there and just marketing, it doesn't turn me on. I have to think of people's needs. That turns me on. So it's said to shift your focus from making a buck to making a difference. Focus on what people need, and then that will inspire you, but you'll also know how to say it when you focus on being a help, on service. And I do have 4 pet categories that I like to put out for you guys, not for me, but for you as network marketers. I like to coach people to help these 4 categories. And when you think of it, this covers about 97% of people. And that's parents who want to be home with their kids, seniors who want a better retirement, people who want to get out of bad jobs, and people who are in debt. I'm going to describe these just a little bit. When you think of that, that's like 95% of people out there. If you feel shy about letting people know about your network marketing business, these people are not going to know about options. I coach network marketers with this all the time. Even the ones that know our script, which I'm going to share in a few minutes. But some people have all the skills and they still hold back for various reasons, like they fear being criticized, fear of not being liked. Those actually crushed me, being a shy person, introverted person. So my negative strategy of dealing with this might be to say, oh, I don't need to go out there. I don't need to help the people. I'm okay as I am. I don't really need to build a business. I'll just sort of be quiet and insulate and isolate myself and not fear their criticism, not fear, sticking my neck out. And it kind of starves us to isolate ourselves. It kind of starves us from connecting with other people, but it starves them from the good that we could have done. So these are the people that I think need your help, need to know about network marketing as an option for them if they don't already. And that is parents who get tired of leaving their kids in somebody else's care, tired of missing their kids' games or plays, tired to ask permission to be able to be with their family. Wouldn't it be nice to say, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there at your play. I'm going to be there at your event. And I don't have to ask anybody's permission to do it. I am your parent, and that's a priority for me no matter what. But there's parents who are tired of saying goodbye, tired of leaving their kids in other people's care, and tired of letting other people see their cool bursts, walking or talking or something like that they miss out. Or maybe they have to travel and they don't get to see their kids for a time, and they miss all these really precious things, these precious times other people get to see them instead of their own parents. That's a heartbreak to me and for many parents. So helping parents, moms and dads that want to be home with their kids. Maybe they can both work at home. And some wives love to retire their husbands so they can both be at home. And then there's people that have bad jobs, maybe abusive bosses, or just jobs that hurt their bodies, that wear out their bodies. It's hard on them, like FedEx carriers or other people that are they just burn out bodies. They don't care. Okay, we'll burn you out and go on to the next body. And then there's, or just abusive, negative bosses. You can't quite get them fired. I know one person has a real abusive boss, and I said, well, go up. Go above them. They said that person's in cahoots with that person, and they don't know if they're allowed to go up above that. It's actually in the postal system. So there are people who don't see or don't know how to get out of that. Third category, seniors who want a better retirement, a dignified retirement, because 70% of baby boomers are scheduled to retire in poverty, and it's kind of a sick and sad thing to have to choose. Well, today, this week or this month, do I buy food, or do I pay do I buy my medicine, do I buy gas for the car, or do I pay my utility bills? It's really sad to think that people have to make those choices. So these are people that we can help, because a lot of times their limited income has been outpaced by inflation. And even in jobs, the cost of living rises do not keep up with inflation. Okay, and then there's people who want to get out of loans and pay those high interest to the bank. Banks making all that money off their interest. It just saddles them, burdens them, sometimes for life, especially student loan that cannot be forgiven. People can't get careers in their chosen field, living home with their parents, can't afford to buy a home, start a family, and all that. So these are the areas that I love to encourage network marketers to reach out and help these people. Do you have to do it? Nope. But their lives won't be changed. It could be a very sad thing. It could be the difference between making enough money for, a needed surgery or not, or even putting food on the table or not. Being able to move out of a bad neighborhood. I mean, what if somebody lived in a bad neighborhood and they eventually, got killed and murdered in that neighborhood? Because, what if you would have had the opportunity to talk with somebody about network marketing? You said, oh, no, they might not like it, so I'm not going to open my mouth, I'm not going to talk with them. Later on, they get killed, because they couldn't afford to figure out how to move out of there, make the money to move out of the neighborhood. I mean, that's a real extreme example, but it's possible. It's possible somebody could have had a lot of tough things happen in their life or not been able to afford surgery to save somebody's life because they weren't told about network marketing, because somebody was afraid to open their mouth or maybe not be liked by the person. And by the way, not being liked by somebody, I've had that disease. Now it's like I don't care too much. But I've had that most of my life, including before I got in network marketing. But I had to overcome that, and I learned to go door to door in my neighborhood and sell my nutritional products and became a speaker and a trainer. And how did I do that? I focused on the person, on the person's need, like I'm speaking about. Because one of my neighbors in my neighborhood, her hot flashes went away when I got the product out to her. I thought, I'm doing good. I make a difference. I can make a difference for people. And that started turning me on and encouraged me to talk to more people. So making it all about me, I realized that shyness is selfish and fear is selfish because it's about us. And if it's all about me, that's a very painful place to be versus being able to stand in another person's shoes. I remember one time I was in a sort of a personal hell. I was taking something personally. And all of a sudden this little voice came to me like this: what if this is not about you? In other words, what if it's about the other person's inability to say yes to life or to join you, you know, in what you would like? And what if really life is about service to other people and not trying to make yourself comfortable or happy or get what you want? What about the real secret and happiness to life is really helping other people? So immediately I got switched from out of hell by just hearing this little voice in my head and switching my attitude to service. That completely changed my experience at that moment. So if I think people are criticizing me and not liking me, if I take it personally, I'm not standing in their shoes and realizing that maybe they didn't get back to me or return my call about network marketing, about my company or something. Maybe they didn't return my call because they're absent-minded, because they're busy. What if they're sad or depressed or distracted? So don't take it personally. As Jim Rohn says, don't sign up for that class. Now, how do you reach out to people? Jeff evolved a script brought over from his realtor work into network marketing. He said, hey, that works in real estate. How about in network marketing? And I'll share that with you now for those who are new here or might not have time to open the book. When you joined, there was a book called Always Get a Yes sent to you. And on pages 5 to 12 is this method in a nutshell. It contains a script and then what you say after that and after that and after that. But the script is that you text 10 friends, family, hey, want to ask you a favor, or can I ask you a huge favor? I want to let you know what I do in case you run across the right person, that you could refer them to me. Is this a good time? And some people like to add on, I'm just looking for referrals. See, that takes them off the hook. It's not about them. They don't have to defend themselves against you anymore. You can even use it with people who've already said no to you. And you can say, preface it with, I know this isn't for you, but would you listen to more about what I do? Do me a big favor. Learn more about what I do in case you know someone that you could send to me. So now they're more open-minded. They listen. Even if they said no previously to network marketing or no to your business or product, now suddenly they say, sure, I'll listen to that. Yeah, how long will it take? About 10 minutes. Oh, sure, got 10 minutes for you. They're your friend. They're curious what you're into, or you know, they'll do that for the sake of referral. And then you do your 10-minute presentation. Contains 5 parts, which we'll go into next time, because next time is about presenting daily. Present daily. So we'll go more into that. But your Yes book that you got, that ebook that you got in your email when you joined, you got that email on pages 5 to 12, contains that favor script, and then it contains a 10-minute presentation. and the 5 things it should say and how to say it. And that is, you talk about your company, the need, the product, the comp plan, and the timing, with some bullet points under each. So you just get that from your company compliant material, you deliver that, and then you can say, now that you know what I do, on a scale of 1 to 10, are you likely to 1 being that you might refer somebody to me, or 10 being that you have an interest yourself, where are you? Well, I'm an 8. Okay. Well, are you interested in the product, the business, or both? Well, both. Okay. Well, I would like to introduce you to someone who can take it from here and answer any questions you have about that. And then you arrange a third-party call. So this is so simple and easy that you can do it, anyone can do it, and this is the heart of the method, how the people in here have been jumping ranks and proven that this method works, not just for Jeff. So this is how they're doing it. This is gold, you guys. I think that anybody who knows it and is not using it is leaving a lot of money on the table and a lot of people that they can help. So super indirect method, just getting referrals. I've never seen anything, even in Eric Worre's scripts, that's not this indirect. And there's no chasing people, no video needed to set up, okay, I'll send you a video, and if you watch it for sure, when will you watch it for sure, and I'll call you back at that time. Because people forget the videos, 70% don't watch the video, 1% only watch it all the way through. So no more chasing them. It's simple. You can write this out, duplicate it, send it to your team, send them the favor script, send them the 10-minute presentation. So that is how we do it. So if you're wanting to build your business fast, and some of you don't want to, don't have time to waste. You want to get to it, and you want to do it, bypass the experimenting and bypass the objections, because this doesn't even get objections, you guys. Amazing. So you want to get there real fast? Then just text 10 friends, family, people you know. Text this to 10 people. Then respond to them, follow up with that, and they say, yes, this is a good time, or later, tonight, or when I'm driving home, or whatever. Call you then. But respond to those 10, or follow up with them. When you're done, text another 10. Follow up with those, and so on. Everybody knows 200 to 500 people, I bet you, on your phone list and that you really know on your Facebook friend list. So take care of these people. By the time you're done, you're going to have a business, and you're going to have customers, and you're going to have recruits. Now, when you run out of those, how do you keep adding people to your list? You do that in 2 ways. Either in your everyday life, people that you meet, look to see who you can meet and get to know, and try to add 2 people a day to your contact list, and find a creative way to stay in touch with them. And that is from the Harvey McKay, Swim with the Sharks. He goes, meet 2 new people a day and add them to your contact list and find a creative way to stay in touch with them. So in everyday life, depends on how active you are, that could be easy to do, just get to know 2 people. But online, it's super, super easy. You just go into these Facebook groups like I mentioned, get to know somebody there in a group and say, hey, I noticed that you said this or this in the group. That's where you can move it to a private Facebook message. You mentioned this. Would you like to know more about it? Or you mentioned this. I have an idea for you. Would you like to hear it? That's after you've made friends with them in the group. If it's a new friend on Facebook, you can ask them about family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Again, I just love to go into their About section in their profile and pull out something of common interest and begin a conversation that way. And once you do, you can either ask them directly about them, hey, would you like to know about this? I think, this is how I stayed home with my kids. This is a business that allowed me to stay home with my kids and make more than I was making at my regular job and retire my husband. Would you like to know about it as a possible option for you? Or you can do the indirect method and just say, hey, I'm glad, we got to chat about how we both, about our pets and tips about that and all that. I have a question for you. Would you do me a big favor? I would like to let you know what I do in case you run across the right person. You could refer them to me. Is this a good time? So that's how you could use a favor script with them. Now, if you want to go real fast, we recommend that you use leads. And we have put on within the school Yeah, we have taught this. Jeff has evolved a system that, again, is the best that I've seen for either buying leads or generating your own leads. And he'll be teaching more about that. So that would be the advanced way. But meanwhile, you can use the favor script with people you know and with people that you're getting to know online and in person. Here's something cool I heard from Jordan Adler. He's a multimillionaire friend in network marketing for many years. And he says, if you're in network marketing, the most important question to ask is, who's next? Who am I going to help next? Who am I going to let know about my company and my products next? And we can do good. We can look out and say, I can keep this to myself, or I can go out and I can better the world and I can help other people. Which is it going to be? Am I going to be shy and keep this to myself and put it off to another day and say, oh, it's easier to watch TV tonight than to do this? Tomorrow I'll start my network marketing business. Tomorrow I'll really build. Or around the first of the year, man, I'm going to really crush it then. I'm going to really build then. I'll do it then. But right now, let me rest, let me kick back, let me put it off. Usually it's because of the fears that I mentioned, like what will people think, or am I saying it the right way? Or so take a look what's going on. If you're putting it off, if you're putting off marketing daily, or marketing daily is really contacting and inviting them to look at your business in the ways that we mentioned. And if you're putting it off, if you're procrastinating, look and see what's the inner talk going on, what's the feelings going on inside you, and what's the inner chatter going on inside. They won't like it. They won't understand this business. They'll think it's a pyramid scheme. They'll think it's something slimy. They'll think I'm just trying to sell them something. I'm just thinking of myself. And then change that. Make sure that you're focusing on service and check yourself. If you're scared about people thinking you're just trying to use them, well, check yourself. Are you? Make sure that you're always coming from a place of service and standing in their shoes, seeing what's best for them. And see what's left after that. If you have questions about this, you can bring your questions here to the calls. When we turn off the recording, that's the time to ask questions. Like, I tried this, it didn't work. I talked with a lady the other day, and she goes, oh, yeah, I've heard of the favor script because one of my teammates uses it all the time. I tried it, just didn't do anything for me. And so what did you say after that? Well, I just told them a little bit about my business and about my story. I said, okay, what you need to do is put together the 10-minute presentation with these 5 things and these bullet points under that, and then you say this, and you say, now that you know what I do on a scale of 1 to 10, and then you say, are interested in product or business or both, and then you get somebody on the third-party call, and she wasn't doing any of that stuff, so it wasn't working for her. So that's the reason that people, they might need the skills. They might need to focus on the other person's needs and their motivation, why they're sharing. Those are really the 2 things, skills and mindset. So you really need both. You need the mindset of service and helping people, seeing what they need and meeting their need. So we provide both here in the school, both the skills and the mindset. But if you still feel stuck, bring a question to the questions section of this when we turn off the recording, because we want people to feel free to, ask questions that they want to. So bring it to there, and if you think it needs to be in private, then message Jeff or me, and we'll take care of you. There's an answer for everything. Don't let yourself be stuck. Look and say, what do I need when you're stuck? Look and see what your feelings are, your emotions are, and the negative beliefs going on in your head, or what you're telling yourself. And then you can ask yourself, what do I need here? Do I need clarification on the skills? Do I need self-esteem? Do I need to understand how to, ask this or that question? Look and see where you get stuck, because we're here to help people get unstuck. Don't stay stuck, you guys. Some of you are writing your 10-minute presentations. Some of you haven't yet written them. Use your company compliant material. Look on that pages 5 to 12 of the Always Get a Yes book. See what you're needing. Where are you stuck? Move that thing through. Help that so that your river can flow, so that you can meet people and you can have a lot of fun. And to go to bed every night knowing that you changed some lives today or offered options to people to be able to be home with their kids, to be their own boss, fire that abuse, that bad boss, have a better retirement, get free, financially free, get out of debt, have a life. That's what we're doing. We're helping people get a life. I call us freedom fighters. So this is what you're really doing. You're not here to make a dollar. Robert Kiyosaki says, your job isn't to make money, it's to solve problems. It's to solve problems. So that's what we're doing. Maybe somebody else could put it in better words than me. You know, are we problem solvers? Are we freedom fighters? If you think of something, let me know. I'd like to have another, you know, byline for network marketers. Maybe together we'll come up with something cool. What are we really doing? Okay, and we can open it up now to hear your takeaways. What we do is we go down the line, the person that's on our control panel here, we look at the top person and we'll call you one by one. You can say pass, but we would like to offer to hear your takeaway. The best thing that you got here as a review for us, but also that helps us know what you value too. It kind of summarizes tonight as well. So let's start with the number one person who joined us tonight, and that's our new member, Erica Tobias.
I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording as well.